wasn't brand new, but it wasn't even a year old. Luckily though, the frame of the trailer caught one of the wheels, so the whole car didn't fall off onto the ground. One of the wheels got caught in the trailer and it was hanging on. So I had to get a wrecker to come out. He charged me $600 to lift this car back up onto this trailer. And luckily there was no damages to the actual body of the car, but the front two tires blew out. So I had to buy brand new tires for this Cadillac. But I ended up delivering the load and getting back. And that was just like one of many stories of mistakes that I was making and really becoming, really being blessed that it didn't really cost me, or I didn't actually make a mistake to where I hurt somebody, or I racked up a lot of expense. So what I realized though is that I really needed training. I shouldn't be out here driving a 53-foot trailer not understanding what I'm doing. So that same year I stopped car hauling and I started searching for schools, truck driving schools. And I found that it was difficult for me to get into a school because of my felonies. My criminal background made it really difficult. I just couldn't find a school. And there was a guy who needed a driver. And a friend of mine was like, yeah, I know this guy, he needs a driver, he got a car hauler. So I called him, but he didn't have the F-150 duty or F-350 duty. He had an actual rig. He had a tractor. So I didn't have a CDL license. So he said, well, you need a CDL license. And I explained to him, I said, man, it's hard for me to get into the classes. They won't accept me in the classes because of this felony. So he said, well, I know somebody that'll get you in to this truck driving school. He's an actual recruiter. So we set a meeting up with this guy. It was on a Thursday. I went up there, I filled out the paperwork. Monday, I was in the class. That was a blessing. So now, the class took place in Michigan, the winter of 2017, December. Freezing cold. It was just bitter cold. It was so cold that sometimes you go to the class and the trucks wouldn't start up. So I had to catch the bus. I didn't have no vehicle to drive, so I had to catch the bus most of the way, and then I had to walk a good part of it, maybe like a mile in the snow and the bitter cold to get to this class, only to stand outside for my training. Class, and I had problems with everything, really. There's three maneuvers that they want you to know on the yard. You have to back the truck straight back, then you have to offset back. You know what I'm saying? That means that you're in one lane and you have to back up into another lane, a parallel lane. Called an offset. And then they have what is called an alley dock or a 90-degree dock, where you have to bag the truck down, and then you have to make as you bag it, you have to make a 90-degree turn into the dock. So I really had problems with those. I would get it one time, but I was never really doing it on consecutive times. Like I get it one time and then time I go to do it, I'm thrown off. I'm all the way off. So, you know, you only can spend so much time in the class. So now the day for my test comes. And I just made it up in my mind, like, you know, I know that I don't know this, but, you know, I just have to now just take the test. I can't keep prolonging this. I have to just do it. So on this particular day, you know, we get in there, we go to do our straight back. First, I was good at that. Just back and shrunk up straight back. But now we get to the offset. Now in the offsetting, they have instructions that they give you on how to set your truck up so that you can be pointed into the dock, so you can back into it. And for some reason, this particular day, I just screwed it up. I screwed the whole setup up. But when I look into my rearview mirrors, even though I screwed it up, my trailer was pointed directly into the dock. Figures. I'm like, oh. I know opportunity when I see one, I bagged it on in. I passed that part of it. Same thing with the alley dock. There's a certain instructions that they give you on how to approach the dock. Screw that up. But I got the trailer into I didn't realize how I was doing it, but I got the trailer into the dock. Just had to pull up one time and bag it in. I passed that part. My inspection, I was good on it. I was good on all my inspections. I remember that. Now we have to go out on the road for the road test. Now, when I'm shifting my gears, I'm upshifting, I'm good with that. But when it comes to the downshifting, I knew that I wasn't good. I knew that, you know, there was a chance I wasn't going to pass on that. But as we getting ready to go out on the road test, it begins to rain, freezing rain, sleet. So I don't know how afraid I should be about this, but my instructor was terrified about it. He did not want to go. So he said, listen, don't worry about all the stuff we taught you. Go down here, get on the freeway, come back around, and park. You passed. So now I got my license, I got my certification. That bird is lifted up off me. But now I got to find a job. And I know that I'm afraid to really go in because I know I really don't know what I'm doing. So I'm looking around for jobs. I go and do an application, loan application, an interview, and then at the end of all of that, that's when they ask the dreaded question. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? So I have to explain to them, yes I have. Explain to them the nature of the felony. And they said, well, we cannot hire you at this time. So that went on for so long to the point where I was just like, whenever I first started talking with a potential employer, I tell them up front, before we get into the, you know, before we get all into the interview and all that, the first thing I tell them, well, how are you guys with hiring felonies? Or drivers with felonies? So that right there kills the interview and it saved me a whole lot of unnecessary time. So now I'm sitting at home, no job. Actually, at the time, I was living with a friend. She was allowing me to live in one of her rooms. She knew what I was trying to do. So she knew someone that was looking for a driver. And the reason why he was looking for a driver, he was doing the job himself, but legally you can't do it with one driver. But they didn't have the electronic logs devices that they have today, so he was cheating on the log books. The whole company was cheating on the log books. But now at this particular time, when I'm looking for a job, they have started to enforce electronic log devices. You got to have them in your truck. They're going to keep track of what you're doing. So now they need 2 drivers to do the job that one driver used to do.